Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Aiden Rigg here, and I'm your host of the Marketing Freak Show. Now, this is show number 2. Now, if you recall, last week I did a 40,000 foot view of what the show was about, and just kind of give you a little bit of a backstory. I am at the heart a sales guy. I started off in the very early 90s, skating from job to job, building log houses, washing dishes, working the beer and wine store, doing accounting. Finally got a job door-to-door selling Filter Queen vacuums. And from there, I got into the cleaning industry, got into selling for a B2B sales, and did that from then about 1994 right on through to now. But somewhere in and around 2006, 2007, when Facebook was coming out, and then with YouTube and all these different platforms, I started to really recognize the difference in what marketing was going to be, what sales was going to be. And I recognized that we didn't need to spend a lot of time, salespeople going from door to door to door, knocking on a door. We didn't need to spend a lot of time trying to, a customer didn't need to spend a lot of time if they wanted this cup as an example. Before the internet, they had to phone me and say, I'm looking for this black Pittsburgh Steelers cup. And they put the onus on me. I went off and found that cup. I gave them a price. They placed an order. And so from the sales perspective, that's what a salesperson did. With the internet now, and over the last 10, 15 years, it's accelerating at a fast rate. If someone wants this cup, they don't need a salesperson. They just punch up black Steelers cup, and they're going to find it. And if they go to Amazon, they're going to find it for sure. And so I recognized that as a salesperson, I needed to change to marketing. There is definitely their sales. There is definitely marketing, and they have two different complete skill sets, if you will. And if you recall, I went over this framework last week, and it's a combination of marketing and a combination of sales, and where marketing starts and when sales begins. Now, there is crossover, but it's really important to recognize that with the internet, we don't need to market one-to-one anymore. We definitely should, but we can put out a broader net, right? We don't need to be hunter salespeople in the sense that we go knock on a door and throw pebbles at a prospect trying to make things stick. We now kind of transition. We can start being more like fishermen, where we have our hook, and then depending on the bait, depending on the industry, the type of customer avatar, what industry he or she is in, we can now change the bait, right? We're not just throwing a rock, which is the same thing to someone all the time. We have the capability of segmenting our markets, of segmenting our prospects, and creating content, information, bait, if you will, for that individual sector. So, I'm not much of a fisherman, but I do know that there's different bait you use if you're catching salmon, to if you're catching halibut, to, if you're going crab hunting. There's different types of bait. And so that's really what I want those of you to understand, is that if I can articulate that we need to kind of think of marketing as one-to-many. And in today's society, and that even if we are just a regional company and we're just within a certain town, we can do so much through our laptops, through our computers, through our phones, that we don't need to spend so much of our time going from place to place to place, knocking on the door, trying to create interest. And so it's taken me 10, 15 years to kind of formulate everything, to understand the different segments, the different pieces. And then from there, I created this framework, which I call revenue production marketing. And this comes from years of studying and learning from different people all over the place. And I've given kudos to the many people that I've learned from, and I'll continue to do so. So today, what I want to do, I want to talk to you about the importance of one specific part of this framework. And I went over it with you last week, over the framework. So I encourage you to watch last week's episode. But for this week, I want to talk about the second piece of the puzzle, or the third piece of the puzzle, I should say, which is, we're going to get into it here, which I'll focus on a little more, is where we, right here, you'll see that this says Clean Free. Now, what that is a picture of a laptop, but what it signifies is the importance of recognizing that we don't want to just have a website. A website is a cost center. A website is a nice brochure. And what happens to brochures? If you're in sales, a lot of times brochures, they go in the garbage, they go on a stack. And that's what a website is. A website is a 40,000 foot overview. You say, oh, okay. I relate it to the cleaning industry. Oh, look at all the services they do, and look at this and look at that. And so many, especially in the cleaning industry, their websites might have fill out this form and contact us. And when you talk to the cleaning companies, when I talk with them, and I know this is true with other sectors as well, the people I talk to and work with, is that very few people fill out that contact us form, right? Number one, it's on page 5, or maybe it's on the side of the home page if the company is a little bit more advanced. But it will say, fill this out for more information, or fill this out for 2 weeks for a free week of cleaning, I've seen. And that's not what we want to do when we're in marketing. We start putting in our revenue production marketing. We start putting on our hats, right? What I want to articulate today is the importance of either 100% eliminating your website, or having your website as somewhere that you direct someone to once you have had a conversation or there has been a request for more further information. So let me give you an example. The human mind can only think of one thing at a time, right? It's impossible to think about cars and horses, right? You're thinking about cars, that's it. You have to stop and think about horses, or whatever it is. We can only think about one thing at a time. And when the website is usually filled with, hey, we do building service contracting, we do this, we do this, we do this. What I want to articulate today, I'm going to go over with you a little bit, is the importance of having a landing page. Some people call it a landing page, some people call it a squeeze page, a sales page, is different names for it. And what it is it's a page that's directed to one type of person that asks them to do one thing. And this has taken me a long time to get as well, because I was trying to throw a whole net in marketing, the same message to everybody, and then get them to come to the website and do something. But I wasn't speaking to that individual person. So as an example, someone in their 50s, a man's going to have different needs and wants and aspirations usually than a man in his 30s. Same with a woman. Same with with a child. With depending on the sector and where they are and what their job is, what their role is, the industry they're in, they have different wants, needs than someone else. And so we need to speak to them. So when we're doing our marketing, we'll get into that in later episodes when we're talking about doing Facebook posts and LinkedIn and blogs and YouTube videos and whatever it might be. We need to talk to an individual person. And what we want to do is we want to lead them to a landing page, a squeeze page, a one-page website, if you will, that asks them to do one thing. And that one thing might be, if you're in the cleaning industry and you're selling cleaning services, is here are 10 steps to protect your facility from COVID-19. Or here are 10 steps to look at when looking to change your cleaner. Whatever it is, it's geared towards that person and his or her wants and needs. So I come to the website, I see something on Facebook, I see something on YouTube, whatever it might be, your newsletter, whatever. And I click it and I come to a landing page. One page asks them to do one thing, meaning, hey, give us your email address and your name, and we're going to give you these 10 steps to protect yourself during COVID-19, whatever it might be. Now, when that person fills that out, you now have an opportunity to create engagement with them, to market to them, to talk to educate them, to hopefully nurture them along so that they become a customer, which is part of the revenue production marketing framework. But today I just want to talk to you about a landing page. So let's look at landing pages a little bit further. So one of the things I want to show you what I mean here is when we go to share my page here, and we're going to go to right here. So if you notice, this is my website. So this is a option that you can do if you don't want to do a landing page or you can't do a landing page. You at least have a pop-up on the front of the page. Now, when you go to my website, you're going to notice that it leads you to different landing pages. And so if I'm promoting different things, I lead them to that link. But what I want to show you here is that when here's the website, okay? So let me change to the bigger screen here. So we get to the website, but what I do is there are landing pages. So this is my main page. This is where I take people when I'm going to have a conversation with them, when there's interest in talking further. But here is, as an example, a landing page that I can send people to. This is for a weekly webinar. And you see that I will do posts on LinkedIn or whatever it is, and it's this link up here. And it leads them to this landing page, right? And all I'm asking them to do is, sign up for the webinar where I'm going to share 3 secrets about cleaning. And that's all they need to do, and ask them to do one thing. So it's important that you recognize the importance of asking your prospect to do one thing. Now, when the person fills out the form on the webinar, as an example, there are emails that lead up to the webinar, and there are emails that lead up to post-webinar. But after a few emails, then they go into the weekly newsletter, or the bi-weekly newsletter, whatever program you're on, whatever system you have in place. And you are nurturing that prospect, right? Now, they might not be ready to buy. They might be happy the minute they fill out the form with their present supplier. They might be happy with the cleaning service that's cleaning their facility right now. But you are at least going past their screen, past their eyes. They're thinking of you at least once a week, even if they don't read your email. Jeb Blunt says in his book, Fanatical Prospecting, about the law of familiarity. And it's so true. At what point does someone not become a stranger and they become familiar? At what point does your company or you as a sales prospecting person, when do you stop being a stranger and start being familiar? When does your customer or your prospect start to be familiar with you? And when there's familiarity, there's more trust. So I like to use the analogy we can all kind of relate to. How many times have you gone to maybe a store, right? Maybe it's a corner store. And the first time you go there, you go to the corner store, you're new to the neighborhood, whatever. You go to the corner store, you buy your milk, you go to the till, you say, hey, how you doing? You buy your milk, your bread, whatever it is. But there comes a time when, after you've been there a few times, you start becoming a regular. And the customer and the person behind the counter is more familiar with you and is warmer to you. It's a different warm. It's not just a cordial, hey, how you doing? Have a good day. It's, hey, how you doing? Oh, great. There's more familiarity. And that's what we want when we're marketing, is we want to stay in the mind of the prospect until he or she is ready to move forward. In the old days in sales, we just kind of beat them up, right? Boom, boom, close, always be closing, always be closing, always be closing. And that there's a time and a place for that. But for the most part, it's educating, being a resource. And when the prospect is finally fed up with, let's say, their cleaning service, then what happens is they don't sit back and go, I'm going to go onto Google and search and look for a cleaning service. They're going to, in many circumstances, go, who is that guy? What's his name again? That keeps sending me these emails. And they're going to go to their emails and go, there he is. There's that Aiden guy, right? And there's familiarity, there's trust. And what we're hoping for is, if we're just doing inbound, is that when they have a need, they're going to reach out to us. Now, there's more stuff with lead scoring and that we can do down the road to reach out to a prospect when he or she is most likely ready. But that's a different conversation for a different day, but it's part of the RPM system. So a landing page is important to recognize. You have a landing page. Now, there are many different programs out there. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to find, there are a lot of different landing pages out there. And share here and see if you can see me. Just logging in here. So there's many different types of programs you can use to do landing pages. There's Infusionsoft, there's Kajabi, there's ClickFunnels, there's and then there's cheaper programs. There's MailChimp, there's GetResponse, there's ConvertKit. There's no shortage of companies that are very good. Aweber, GetResponse, of companies that are great, that make it affordable and cheap to create landing pages and or websites. But I'm going to show you the program I do, which is Janitorial Marketing Solutions, and the one that I use for my customers. But again, you can use any program that suits you. Now, the reason why I want to show you this is I want to show you what you can do with a landing page. So, and exactly what a landing page is. So with this program example, I'm just going to show you what a landing page is we can come in and we just simply can add different things to create a landing page. It can be as simple or as easy as we want, right? We can just add pictures. So this is not the intent today about showing you how to build a landing page, but it's about showing you to do a landing page. So that one was way too. There we go. So landing pages is very easy to create depending on the program you use. But what we're getting at and what we're doing is we're getting to create a landing page that helps your customer do one thing. And so here is a great example of what I mean by that. I'm going to go to pages and change. Two different group. And so here is an example of a landing page template. So what we do here is it's not showing that, so that's why. So it might not show you that exactly. Oh, yes, it is. There we go. And so this is an example of a landing page where when someone will land on this page, and this is a template for them to get an ebook or 10 steps or whatever it might be. It's very easy to create. All the programs are good. They're very affordable. Whoever is doing your website, wherever you're getting your website, whether or not it's Wix or Squarespace, or you want to use MailChimp, what have you, most of them all do landing pages. And so I want you to think about, when you are marketing to the public, it doesn't matter if you're using Facebook or LinkedIn or any of the social media platforms. It doesn't matter. What we want to do, what I want to articulate is, what do you want that person to do? Even in the case of traditional prospecting, where it might be a business card right here. So your sales rep, or you as a sales rep, goes out and gets a business card, and you're doing the traditional door-to-door knocking, which a lot of people are, which is great. It still has a place. And you're knocking on the door, and they say, yeah, I'm using XYZ company. I'm very happy. You say, no problem. May I send you our 10 steps on how to protect yourself during COVID-19, or whatever the lead magnet, the piece of content you're going to give them in exchange for their email and address. I've never had anyone say no. Doesn't mean they're going to open your emails. It doesn't mean you're going to read your emails. But what it is they say, yeah, sure, because it's a great way to get rid of you too. So you take the business card, email, and first name. All you need to do, you put it into your landing page form, and now they become part of your weekly prospecting process, your nurture process. It's not about sell. It's about educate, which, as you'll see, is the second part of the revenue production marketing model, right? We capture their information on a landing page, and then we have a light bulb to signify, enlighten, educate, make them aware, give them knowledge about things for their business. And that's why, depending on how many markets you serve, you're going to do different content, as an example, for a dentist than you are going to do for a veterinarian. Right? A dentist and a veterinarian may have some crossovers that you can use at time to time, but one is looking after teeth and the other is looking after animals. So you want to have content geared towards, veterinarians. So segmenting your markets and creating content for that market, if you serve many markets, is what you want to do. For a lot of companies, like those in the cleaning industry, as an example, building service contractors, they may clean dentist office, they may clean veterinarians, and they definitely can have content at times that's strictly for them, but they would talk more about disinfecting capabilities, protecting themselves, hand washing practices, all these things, because dentists and veterinarians and what have you are all going to have those similarities with them. So it really depends on what you're selling for the content you create, but who is it that you're selling to? And that's what you want to focus on. So that's what this is designed to do, is get yourself out of the concept of the mindset of having a website. Not saying don't have a website, but when you're trying to lead people, on your business card, as an example, you maybe just have, if your name is ABC Janitorial Company, have it on your website, ABC Janitorial Company / what have you, or do another name. And when someone goes there and it's one thing, right? You want to capture their email and their first name with permission. Okay, getting lists and buying lists and stuff like that, it does not work. Okay, trust me, it does not work. But what does work is by being authentic, is by being honest, is being genuine, generous in your content, in your information, and educating someone to help them make a better decision for their business. And they will replicate or reciprocate if your content's good and if you're adding value when they're ready. And again, if you recall, we have engagement and we have lead scoring. So a different topic for a different day, but when someone's reading all of your content all the time, there comes a time when we know that we can reach out to them, that there is a level of interest, that they're familiar with us, they're reading all the content. And that's when we would reach out and connect with them and eventually hopefully convert them into a customer. So that's when sales will get involved. So I hope this has been of value to you. I'm trying to articulate the importance of getting rid of your website, having your website as a backup, having your website as a place where you direct customers to when you're maybe on the phone with them, saying, "Well, if you go to the website here," and guiding them through a map. But as far as them landing on your website, going, "Oh my goodness, where you've been all my life," filling out a form to talk to somebody, or to get a free week's cleaning, or to ask you a question, is very slim. So increase your odds of likelihood of success. Put your efforts into RPM, accelerate it with a revenue production marketing process, something like this, and get a landing page. It will absolutely start to show dividends and start to create a revenue for you in a shorter period of time than what might be happening for you right now. I'm Aidan Rigg with Marketing Freak Secrets, and I will see you next Thursday, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Hope you enjoyed the show.